tweet regret and all of that.
Regret.
Trying to dig themselves out of holes that they put their foot in their mouth. Hello, and welcome to Improv-ing Business on Web Talk Radio. I'm Brandon.
And this is Rick.
And today we'll be talking about getting your marketing and sales team off the rocks. In prior podcasts, we mostly talked about strategic planning, focusing on your company's operations, the stuff you need to do to make your product. What we haven't talked about yet is how to sell your product. This aspect of business can be a real problem for companies of all sizes, and businesses can get stuck in making the same mistakes over and over. Even worse, a company might have the right tack or plan for their marketing department and not have sales and marketing on the same page, which can lead to a disjointed message to the customer, as well as internal strife in the company. We're going to be talking about this problem and how to fix it today through the story of four-wheeling in a Jeep Rubicon between Fawnskin and Green Valley Lake, California.
Last week, my wife and I went up to Big Bear Lake to visit our cousin's cabin on the lake. And Bill and Teresa had a really nice little place, but what they offered us was to go four-wheeling. Now, I have heard of four-wheeling in the dirt, and I've taken older cars and kind of driven down fire roads. We had a little gullies here and there and a little rock here and there. But again, I was driving a small car, and I thought that was pretty cool to get through there and adventurous. But Bill and Teresa had a Jeep Rubicon, which is a four-wheel drive Jeep with independent suspension and tires, and it was made for doing a little bit more than just driving on a dirt road. So the road that we were going to go on, or a series of roads and trails on the other side of Big Bear Lake, which started in Fawnskin and went towards Green Valley Lake. Now, as the crow flies, this is about 10 to 15 miles. If you're to take the road, it's about 33 miles. So to give you an idea, we're really cutting across a lot of rough terrain. So we jumped in this Jeep, and we drove, and we got in this dirt road, and it's nothing to it. Just driving along and fire road, and we get to a point, and Bill turns to us and says, okay, now we have a choice. And he stops at the Y. He says, we could either go the easy way, or we could go the more challenging way, which in Jeep terms or in off-road four-wheeling terms are double diamond. Now, if you have snow skied the way I have, you had your blue diamonds, which are intermediate, you had your black diamonds, which were advanced, and then you had your double diamonds, which were this side of crazy. And I really didn't think that we'd be going on roads that were this side of crazy, because why would they open that up to the public? I mean, who would in their right mind would even do this? So I instinctively said, go for it. And I turned to my wife, who really likes to be adventurous, and she was all for it. She had a big smile on her face. So we went on this trail, and as we're going, there's a boulder here, a boulder there. And the trail wasn't so bad at first, really. And I said, well, this is double diamond's not that big of a deal. And very much, this is very similar to like your sales or marketing situation where you have some options to make. Maybe you come to a Y of the road, maybe taking a more aggressive tack at something, or maybe a less aggressive tack in your marketing and sales endeavors. But in this case, we went for the gusto. So as we're driving through this, the boulders get a little more frequent, and we're driving around them. Eventually, he starts driving over these little 1-foot tall boulders, which is not a big deal because the wheels are bouncing around. And there's a stream here, a stream there that we're crossing, getting the tires wet and making us slip on some of the rocks. But we're still on pretty steady ground as we're going through there. And then he said, well, I've been on this road before, and the hardest part, as far as I know, is right up here about a quarter of a mile. And I said, well, what makes it so hard? And he said, well, the last time we were here, another four-wheeler broke their drive shaft.